There was a time, not so long ago, when the universe called for a profound and painful act, the severing of ties between you and this person. It was not a choice made lightly, nor was it born of simple malice or indifference. Perhaps it was a retreat from overwhelming pain, a quiet surrender to the confusion that had clouded your connection, or a wise, if heartbreaking, recognition that the timing was simply and irrevocably wrong. This decision, this courageous withdrawal, was a crucible. It was a moment of true spiritual bravery that felt, in its passing, like an act of devastating loss. Yet, in the silent aftermath, that absence became the very forge in which a new and sacred reality was being shaped. It was your stepping away, your deliberate silence, that acted as the final, necessary catalyst for them. It was the spark that ignited something deep within their spirit, a flicker that was destined to become a roaring flame. For so long, they had taken the beautiful, intricate tapestry of your connection for granted, or perhaps, in their own confusion, they had been unable to truly recognize its immense significance. But your quiet departure was the shock to their system, the spiritual awakening they so desperately needed but could never have asked for. That separation was not a void created in vain. It was, in its essence, a sacred mirror held up before them, reflecting with stark and honest clarity what they were truly missing. It showed them the gaping hole left in their life, a space that no other person, no distraction, no fleeting moment of superficial pleasure could ever hope to fill. It forced them to confront the layers of unhealed wounds they had been carrying, the baggage they had refused to unpack, the patterns of behavior that were holding them hostage. Your absence became a guide, showing them, without a single word, who they needed to become in their own right. It was a silent invitation for them to rise, to elevate their consciousness, to heal the old self and step into the person they were meant to be, the person who could finally meet you, not at the level you once were, but at the elevated plane you had both reached through this journey. And so, a quiet transformation began to unfold in the background, a sacred, long overdue alchemy of the soul. For what may be the first time in their life, they are beginning to take genuine, unwavering accountability. It's a deep, seismic shift that extends beyond surface-level apologies or fleeting moments of self-awareness. It is the kind of accountability that says, I see my role in this. I own my part of the chaos, the pain, and the separation. In this profound act of self-confrontation, they are no longer running from the shadows of their past. Instead, they are turning to face them, armed with a new sense of power and purpose. And as they do this sacred work, they are being drawn back to you with an intensity and a purpose they have never known. It is not a casual pull, but a magnetic force, a spiritual gravity that is realigning their entire world, guiding their every step toward your return. You have been so patient, haven't you? Perhaps even to the point of weary resignation. You have held a space for hope, a silent, unshakable belief that a breakthrough was coming. You have waited for the dawn even through the longest, darkest nights. And now, the universe, in its infinite and majestic wisdom, is aligning every star, every sign, every breath to bring that moment to you. What you have waited for, what you have prayed for, what you have held in your heart through all the pain, is finally on the horizon. It may manifest as a heartfelt confession, a raw and vulnerable moment of shared truth, a quiet conversation that stretches into eternity, or even simply the chance to spend genuine, uninterrupted quality time with the one who holds the deepest chambers of your heart. It's a gentle, sacred whisper from the universe, telling you that your patience was not only rewarded but divinely orchestrated. Your person had been lost within an intricate, suffocating web of complications. They were entangled in emotional baggage so heavy it weighed down their very soul, trapped in unhealthy patterns that felt impossible to break, and caught in the sheer, unyielding chaos of a life they had allowed to become imbalanced and ungrounded. But they are no longer content to remain a prisoner in that web. The restlessness they once felt has been replaced by a quiet, determined rebellion. They are actively, and with every ounce of their being, fighting their way out of the mess they once permitted to define them. Every step they take is a testament to their desire for freedom, for truth, and for you. Their mind is no longer occupied with the distractions of the past. Instead, it is filled with a constant, beautiful stream of thoughts and dreams of you. They are imagining what life would be like if the two of you were together day in and day out, in the glorious wholeness of a real, present, and grounded connection. They dream not of fleeting moments of joy, but of a shared life lived in the fullness of its every season. The silent, sacred work of healing is now fully underway, not just for them, but for you, too. It is happening in the quiet moments, in the deep recesses of the soul, and it is unfolding with a breathtaking and beautiful grace. The wounds that once made a true, lasting union impossible are beginning to fade into the background, becoming scars that tell a story of resilience rather than open sores of pain. This profound healing energy is part of a divine orchestration that is purposefully and lovingly guiding you both back to each other, but not as you once were. You are returning not as the people who disconnected, but as transformed individuals who are ready for something far more real, far more lasting, and far more beautiful than anything you have ever known. Your person has been doing their own deep inner work, shedding the habits, mindsets, and even the relationships that no longer serve their highest growth. They are cleaning up their life with a quiet and sacred ferocity, not out of a sense of obligation or duty, but from a genuine, soul-deep desire to be able to stand before you with integrity, with confidence, and with a heart overflowing with truth. They are building a foundation of self-respect and self-love so that when they finally return, they can offer you a love that is whole, and not one that is fragmented by their own inner turmoil. Meanwhile, your own journey has been anything but idle. Your growth, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, has been so powerful that it has shifted the entire landscape of your life. As you have elevated your energy, as you have shed your own old patterns, you have likely noticed a profound change in the people around you. Some may have fallen away, no longer able to resonate with the light you now carry. Others may have stepped up, drawn to your new vibration. This is not by accident, it is the natural consequence of your own expansion. Your energy has become more discerning, more powerful, and it is now actively magnetizing the love and respect you have always deserved. The universe is responding to your elevation by opening doors you never even knew existed, doors that lead to unimaginable blessings, a profound sense of alignment, and deep emotional abundance. This abundance is not just material, though that may be a part of it, it is an overflow of emotional and spiritual richness. The kind of love you have always believed in, the kind of connection you have dreamed of, is no longer just a possibility, it is being magnetized directly to you. Your only task now is to keep moving forward, to keep your heart open, and to resist the urge to second-guess the path you're on. Trust the universe and its divine process, even when it's hard to see the full picture. The signs have been there all along, quietly nudging you, affirming in every beautiful and subtle way that something big is unfolding beneath the surface, preparing to erupt into your reality. And now, they are preparing to show you, with a newfound honesty and bravery, just how deep and passionate their feelings truly are. What was once hidden behind layers of fear, confusion, or emotional immaturity is now being transformed into a powerful and clear expression of love. They are no longer running from their feelings, they are being drawn toward you with an intensity and a focus that is pulling them into alignment with their highest purpose. They are, in this very moment, manifesting your return into their life. Even now, they are trying to get a sense of what is happening in your world. They are curious about your life, wondering what you are thinking, what you are feeling, and whether there is still a sacred space in your heart for them. The connection between you hasn't faded, it has simply evolved, matured into something far more meaningful and profound than it ever was before. In this moment, as you stand on the precipice of this beautiful reunion, you are being reminded to keep your heart open, your spirit grounded in truth, and your mind trusting in the divine plan. The love you have longed for is not only possible, it is already on its way. And when it arrives, it will come not as a mere repetition of the past, but as a breathtaking reflection of everything you have both become through the healing, the distance, and the growth. You are ready, and so are they, my love. There is a warmth you carry within you, a quiet, beautiful light that I have never been able to forget. It's the kind of radiance that feels ancient and pure. You radiate such genuine love and compassion that just being near you feels like stepping into the sun after a long, cold, and desolate winter. It's almost overwhelming at times, the sheer power of your presence. The pull I feel toward you is more than physical, more than emotional, it is a spiritual, divine, undeniable force. And I find it harder each day to hold myself back from embracing that love, from leaning fully into its light, into you. I have missed you in ways I can't properly express. The ache of your absence sits deep within the hollows of my being. There are moments throughout the day when a memory of your voice, the ghost of your touch, the echo of your laughter breaks through the noise of my life, and in that instant, everything else just fades away. And in those quiet, sacred moments, I realize with startling clarity how deeply my soul longs for you, how it cries out for the comfort and peace of your presence. When I chose to walk away from you, to leave you out in the cold, I didn't just abandon you. I left a part of myself, too. I exiled a sacred part of my heart, a part one now know I can't live without. That choice, that profound mistake, taught me more about love, regret, and growth than I ever thought possible. I understand why you stopped reaching out, why you built up a protective wall around your heart. I don't blame you for a single moment. And yet, even knowing this, it still hurts. It hurts because I know, with such painful clarity, that I caused the distance. I see it all now, every mistake, every misstep, every moment of immaturity. But I want you to know something from the deepest part of my being, your silence didn't go unnoticed. I felt it every day. It echoed in the quiet of my thoughts, in the stillness of long nights, in the ache in my chest. And though I couldn't always bring myself to reach for you, my heart never, not for one moment, stopped whispering your name. When my world was dark and everything seemed to be falling apart, it was your love and the memory of your presence that helped guide me through. Even when you weren't physically by my side, your spirit lingered with me. You were my light in moments when I couldn't find my own. In moments when I lacked the courage to continue, when I felt like giving up entirely, I would remember how you believed in me. And somehow, that belief, your belief, gave me the strength I didn't know I still had. You've always had this incredible way of seeing me, not just who I was in my brokenness, but who I could be in my wholeness. You saw past my flaws, past my fears, past my mistakes, and you reminded me of my own intrinsic worth. I admire you so deeply for that, for your patience, your grace, your wisdom. I often find myself wondering how I was ever lucky enough to be loved by someone like you. All I want now is to return to your warm embrace, to feel your arms around me, steady and safe, like coming home after being lost at sea. I need to tell you, not just with words, but through action, how much I love you, how much I always have, and how that love has only grown more profound in your absence. During our time apart, I've been doing a lot of reflection, some serious, soul-deep contemplation about us, about myself, about everything that went wrong. I've realized that I'm no longer the same person you remember. Life, time, and pain have changed me, forcing me to face the parts of myself I used to run from. It hasn't been easy, but it was absolutely necessary. These lessons, though at times devastatingly painful, have shaped me into someone more honest, more aware, and more capable of loving you the way you deserve to be loved. I know that I can't undo the past, but I want to make it right moving forward. I want to show up for you, fully and completely, with no walls, no fear, just truth, love, and unwavering commitment. I've been trapped in my own mind for so long, caught in a draining cycle of doubt, guilt, and confusion. But now, it's time to let my heart take the lead. My heart, which has always known you as its home. I want to reclaim the time we've lost and to make new memories that will heal the old wounds. I'm feeling stronger now, more grounded and more sure of what I want than I have ever been. And what I want is you. I've even thought about us relocating, starting fresh somewhere new, a place where we can leave behind the shadows of the past and build something brighter together. A home where laughter, love, and peace become our daily rhythm. I'm not running from the past, I'm honoring it by learning from it. But I believe a new environment could nurture our rebirth as a couple, as true partners in every sense of the word. I've always known deep down, with a profound spiritual certainty, that you are the person I was meant to marry. That may sound bold, but it is the truest thing I have ever felt. It's a knowing that has remained constant through every storm and every quiet moment of reflection. I can't promise perfection, but I can promise growth, effort, and an unwavering love that will be a constant in your life. I can promise to show up heart first, every single day, ready to do the work. Please, take your time. I'm not asking for immediate answers or guarantees. I'm simply asking for the chance to show you how much you mean to me. The chance to come home. Before I met you, I often questioned why I was here. I wandered through life with a hollow sense of purpose, carrying out routines and building relationships that never felt deeply rooted. I wasn't sure if my presence mattered to anyone or even to myself. But you changed that. You brought light into a space I didn't even realize was dark, illuminating my own worth. Before you, I believed in the idea of love with all my heart. I was fascinated by it, captivated by the thought of two people connecting deeply, soulfully. But as much as I admired love, I never truly understood it. It was a mystery I couldn't solve, a mirage I chased in the desert. Every time I thought I had found it, it slipped away or turned out to be an illusion. That misunderstanding of love left me in constant conflict with myself, unable to find peace or lasting happiness, no matter how much I tried to convince myself otherwise. There were moments when, on the surface, it seemed like I had everything I could ask for: friends, connections, distractions. But inside, I was restless. I carried a lingering emptiness that no material success or temporary affection could ever fill. I kept asking myself, what is it that I truly want? What am I really searching for? The answer was always love, but not just any love. I didn't want to compromise on something so sacred, not ever. Yet, in my desperation to escape the pain of feeling unloved and alone, I began to settle in ways that contradicted everything I believed in. I found myself in fleeting connections, in temporary flings, none of which satisfied me emotionally. I convinced myself they were harmless distractions, but deep down, they only left me more empty and more lost. I was making compromises I had sworn never to make. I started to feel used, like I had to mold myself into what others wanted just to be accepted. I felt like love was conditional, that I had to entertain, impress, or change who I was just to be noticed. I became someone I didn't recognize, shaping myself into different versions depending on who I was around, thinking maybe one of those personas would be lovable enough. In my alone time, though, all of that would crash down. I was left with the raw, unfiltered truth. I was sad. I felt unwanted, rejected, and deeply unloved. I didn't share that part of myself with anyone. Instead, I built a mask. I wore confidence like armor, used humor as a shield, and behaved like a player, detached, unbothered, and in control. But the truth is, it was all a performance, a coping mechanism to bury my insecurities and silence my pain. It worked for a while, until you came along. When I met you, everything I had constructed to protect myself began to fall apart, and not in a destructive way, but in a necessary, liberating way. You didn't fall for the persona I tried to present. You didn't buy into the show. You saw right through it, straight into my soul. You saw the loneliness I carried, the pain I tried to mask, the longing I buried deep within. And that terrified me more than anything. I had never felt so exposed, so vulnerable, so real. But strangely enough, that fear also came with a profound sense of relief. For the first time, I didn't feel like I had to pretend. I didn't have to charm or entertain or perform to be worthy of your attention. You accepted me, brokenness and all. You saw me, and not just the surface-level me, but the one even I had been running from. That kind of connection was foreign to me. It forced me to confront everything I had been avoiding, all the shadows I had tried to outrun. And while it scared me, it also made me fall in love with you in the deepest, most sincere way I have ever known. Because love in its purest form is not about perfection or pretending. It's about being seen and still being chosen. With you, I realized that love isn't supposed to be confusing or performative. It's not about constantly proving your worth or reshaping yourself to be accepted. Real love is freeing. It's honest. It's quiet and safe and steady. And perhaps most of all, it's healing. You didn't fix me. You didn't try to. What you did was far more powerful. You reminded me that I didn't need to be fixed to be loved. I just needed to be myself. And in doing that, you gave my life a renewed sense of purpose and meaning.